All right. Yeah. Part two of Tyson's PayPal. I have to say I'm enjoying this, and it's good to do something kind of, yeah, we don't really do boxing and sport things really. Maybe little bits of here and there, but yeah. Yeah, part two of the Evander Holyfield kind of dog thing, I suppose. But yeah. And this is gonna be the Mike Tyson fight. Let's go.
From here, it was all about building to Mike Tyson.
More a surprise the way that Holyfield has not. Right now, Holyfield is getting untracked. He's finally woken up. Fans are going wild.
Holyfield went out and destroyed any and all competition.
But down goes Rodriguez out of nowhere. Adelson Rodriguez is on the canvas. He's not getting up, and he's not getting up. It's all over. Here in the second round, Evander Holyfield has KO'd Adelson Rodriguez. Well, if there's any doubt that Evander Holyfield possesses a knockout punch, you can erase all that doubt. He does it in one punch.
Cleaning out the division.
That is kind of funny. People was talking shit about him not having the power for heavyweight, and now he's knocking people out.
Leaving Don King less and less ways to dodge the Tyson-Holyfield fight.
Who did you think were going to be your great rivals then? Can you remember?
Tyson. Everything was about Tyson.
I would love to fight Evander Holyfield, but by no means, right now.
We jump through hoops.
Right now, today, tonight, in the ring, out of the ring, anything he wants.
So when will we see the showdown?
Just for good measure, Holyfield took a fight against undefeated KO specialist Alex Stewart.
1989. And it's a fight that gets completely overlooked. And you're fighting a guy that was born not a million miles from here, where we're sitting right now, Alex Stewart, who I think was 24-0 with mostly knockouts. You went about 7 or 8 rounds of him. It was brutal when it landed. And the first question for you is, why would you fight Alex Stewart at that stage? Why?
Let's get ready to rumble. 12 rounds of boxing. Round 1 scheduled for 12.
I felt to be the best, you fight the best. So I wasn't afraid to take a chance. You know, it's almost like betting. You bet on yourself.
Stewart's got to fight back for a little bit more power.
He took Stewart apart, and once again, left no doubt who should be Mike Tyson's next opponent.
This is vintage Holyfield. I mean, if you have... What's Tony Perez doing now?
Ladies and gentlemen, due to a very severe cut on the right eye of Alex Stewart, Chief Ringside Physician Dr. Frank B. Doggett advised referee Tony Perez to stop the winner. And still, Continental America's heavyweight champion, still #1 contender, Evander, Real Deal Holyfield.
But then, one fateful night in Japan changed the boxing landscape forever. James Buster Douglas had KO'd Tyson.
James Buster Douglas. That is right, folks. We are not kidding. James Buster Douglas with a devastating right uppercut. He followed that with a left cross and sent Tyson reeling in the 10th round. James Buster Douglas beats Mike Tyson.
With Tyson out of the picture, Holyfield would finally get his shot at the heavyweight titles.
Some people are still saying, is he a true heavyweight? I think he is. I think both these men are terrific boxers, and I think they'll create one of the most exciting heavyweight championship matches in the last 15 years.
The whole purpose was to get him a heavyweight title fight, that Project Omega. And as I told the Dubas, when the bell rang for the first round with Buster Douglas, their project is over.
Celebrities showed up in abundance. like Charlie Sheen.
Is it worth it to sit in a $1,000 seat for a fight?
Yeah, it's one of the benefits of our job.
Tell me about the last time you took drugs.
The last time I took drugs, I probably took more than anybody could survive.
Mel Gibson was also in attendance.
And that it takes us back to that period of Roman excess.
Say what you want about Mel Gibson, but the son of a bitch knows story structure. Ah!
Hey, look, it's O.J. Simpson.
The baddest dudes on earth. You know, they can whip anybody that's walking.
And Bill Cosby. Jeez, what a...
This guy's picks have been genius. Genius. Yeah. But I will say, this is where Mike Tyson is sad, because he shouldn't be out of his prime now, but he really was. Do you know what I mean? That's the trouble. Customato was everything, and when you lose your everything, you're nothing. Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
Lineup.
Evander Holyfield gets the greeting from the crowd. Evander Holyfield is looking to take the heavyweight championship away from James Buster Douglas. Round one, scheduled.
Quick and fast, Holyfield caught him with a nasty counter right. And just like that, it was over.
What a shot by Evander Holyfield! It was a twisting right, and down went Douglas. There's a new heavyweight champion of the world, and his name is Evander Holyfield.
The new, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Evander, real deal, Holyfield.
I mean, talk about shutting people up. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's saying he can't punch, he can't knock out heavyweights. He literally got the title by knocking out the person that knocked out Mike Tyson. Right, that's mad.
Evander Holyfield.
Evander Real Deal Holyfield was now the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He returned to Atlanta a hero. A massive parade, screaming fans.
He's a proper champion as well.
You bet I would. If it's a breakfast buddy from Burger King.
The Breakfast Buddy Sandwich.
Great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Hey guys, on me.
Holyfield seized his moment in the sun.
Here's for the senior citizen crowd. When I take that belt, it's going right here around my back.
Foreman, who demolished Joe Frazier to capture the world crown 17 years ago, is making a remarkable comeback. Now shaven-headed, he's recorded 22 victories on his way to another shot at the world title.
And it wasn't long before a super fight against heavyweight champ Evander Holyfield was in high demand. In what would be, at that time, the biggest payday in heavyweight history.
George said, I may be old, I may be fat, but he said, here I is.
Mark, with a 28-year-old Evander Holyfield, undisputed heavyweight champion, and for the first defense, he's fighting a 42-year-old George Foreman.
The pundits were convinced the fight was more farce than anything.
So a lot of people made a big deal about this as being a farce beforehand. You think that George, even though you say Holyfield is going to win, you think Foreman has a chance to win this fight?
But it took only a few rounds before no one was laughing.
It's thought, Nigel, that if it goes past 4 rounds, Foreman could be in some trouble.
Because, of course, the whole game plan for Evander Holyfield is to wear George Foreman down.
A drama entitled, The Old Guy Hung in There. Took a beating but went the distance, kept coming and trying.
Holyfield blasted Foreman, connecting clean, but Foreman kept coming.
Staggered. Holyfield has staggered Foreman.
Seemingly impervious to pain.
George seems to have absorbed those punches in the previous round rather well, Dick.
He did, surprisingly well.
Foreman aimed Evander's best shots and pushed forward, and though he was slow and plodding, his power could turn any fight with a single punch.
Well, here he comes. George is to Holyfield.
The first round I gave to George because I think he legitimately hurt Evander the last 30 seconds.
Round 6, scheduled for 12. For the undisputed heavyweight title.
Any who thought the bout was just for spectacle had been silenced.
Those are the punches that are put down all the heavyweights that Evander Holyfield has faced so far.
Here comes Holyfield, doubling his left and his right. Scoring heavily.
Flushing George Foreman's face.
George Foreman just took some tremendous shots.
For the winner by unanimous decision, and still undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the real deal, Evander.
It's trite.
Crazy, really. The toughest fight he had his whole career was a 42-year-old George Foreman. But if you think about it, really, that's what Ali done to George Foreman. Just took his shots and then Ali did put him down. Do you know what I mean? He took a hell of an amount of shots. And to be honest, that's a victory to just go the distance. He's knocking people out. Like, he's knocking knockout artists out. And he's a cruiserweight. Well, light heavyweight, I suppose. But, yeah. That was crazy, though. George Foreman is the man. Like, but that is what basically what Ali did to him. Just took it. Just sheer will.
But Foreman was a winner in many respects here tonight as well.
Ultimately, Foreman was beaten on points. But the
Definitely
way
didn't
he
lose that
fought
fight.
proved that the second coming of Big George Foreman was no mirage.
Like the eighth wonder of the world. Never will you ever see this again.
Sidebar. I got a great documentary on the career of George Foreman on this channel. So like, sub, and click the bell. It really helps me out.
Oh, brother, you got a problem with my lights? Why don't you come tell me that to my face then? There is a gentleman in the foyer who claims you had some harsh words with him on the phone.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Well,
at last, the dream fight of Mike Tyson versus Holyfield would be set.
Was to have been the biggest financial payoff in boxing history, albeit one of the most controversial.
However, before the fight could take place, Iron Mike would be arrested and sent to prison.
He chose to fight the best young American heavyweight, Olympic silver medalist Riddick Bowe.
Next up,
that's the thing as well. You can't knock Evander Holyfield for Mike Tyson's faults. Do you know what I mean? Mike Tyson should have still been in his prime. He ballsed it up for himself. Do you know what I mean? It's clear that Mike Tyson is here. He's not gonna beat this man. Do you know what I mean? Like Evander Holyfield, you can just see he's basically the same as watching Mike Tyson back then, where Mike Tyson's just destroying and landing at will. He's doing the same. Do you know what I mean? Hold on, 2 seconds. Alright, let's go.
One of the wonderful things about Evander for spectators is that he is no great defensive fighter. He does get hit. So, for that matter, does Bowe.
Good left hook to the body by Evander Holyfield.
And the left hook to the jaw. And Holyfield is quicker to the punch early in the fight.
A fantastic back and forth.
And you saw Holyfield land the right-hand lead. The right-hand lead is a big punch in his arsenal tonight. He believes the way to neutralize Bo's overwhelming right hand is to beat him to the punch with, and already Bo begins to hold and hit, and they brawl in the center of the ring.
Saw Bo conquer Holyfield by decision.
There's the uppercut again. The mouthpiece is out of Holyfield.
New heavyweight champion of the world, ready, Big Daddy Bo!
Yeah, you could see he was like that same thing as well. You can like there's a level in, I think, pace, how much they're throwing, which is just different to people of that time. Do you know what I mean? The people just weren't like that. But yeah, he's a bad motherfucker and all you could see. But I will say one thing: you saw Evander Holyfield is a real fighter, because when he kind of hit him on the break, like Evander Holyfield didn't cover on. I think he just swung and hit back, and they had a little slugfest for a second, just hitting each other. But yeah, he's a bad motherfucker and all, this guy.
This set up an equally savage rematch.
A memorable fight. One thing I got to tell you that's a pleasure for me about this, as Bo cuts Holyfield with 2 overhand rights to start the fight.
Infamously, a man parachuted into the ring mid-fight.
Someone is telling...
And somebody in a parachute has just landed on the edge of the ring, has been pulled away by security guards. The fight has been brought to
This craziness delayed the fight for 20 minutes.
The fight resumed in round 7.
Stay away from the slugfest.
Another left-right combination by Evander. Right hand by Holyfield. Stops Bo in his tracks.
Holyfield took the rematch and was champion again.
For 11 years and 31 fights, nobody had ever questioned Evander Holyfield's heart.
Next up, Michael Moorer. At the onset, Holyfield blasted Moorer. But then, tragedy struck.
Evander slumped on a stool, tired, and not wanting to go back out. What he didn't know at the time was that he had suffered what would later be diagnosed as a heart attack.
Holyfield suffered a heart attack mid-fight. He didn't know it. He just kept fighting. He stood in front of Moorer and took everything he had and never went down.
But the after-the-fight story was not the story of Evander's defeat. It was the story of his heart. A heart his personal physician had diagnosed as a stiff heart. In this fight, his heart had failed him, not he it.
His heart was not able to handle the fluid load, and fluid built up in his lungs. That's when we realized he had a cardiac condition.
After a lengthy recovery, Holyfield returned to action. During his absence, Mike Tyson had returned from prison and recaptured 2 of the 3 heavyweight belts.
Trust me, my belief in theory in life is to destroy or be destroyed.
Some people have sentimental favorite for Holyfield, but Tyson's the odds-on favorite.
Yeah, I'm not a gambling man at all, but I do feel that Evander Holyfield is going to pull off like one of the biggest shocks ever, because I just think he's going to have too much heart, desire, and commitment for Mike Tyson.
You have to carry him out of here. Guarantee you. Guarantee you. Holyfield know what he up against. He know we don't play games. Nobody here on Team Tyson play games. We don't play no games. We not allowed to talk. We bring in the pain.
Much anticipated showdown between Iron Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield.
And then once again,
yeah, that's the thing with what's his name, Riddick Bowe. He was in a real fight with him. Like, that was a dirty fight, like, from both sides. But Mike Tyson is just a, yeah, this is mean, just, yeah, animal Mike Tyson.
I let everything go away, and I believe I was God. I believe I was great. I didn't believe I had to train for them. I thought everybody was afraid of me.
At last, the fight we all wanted to see 5 years prior was set. Tyson was simply not the same after prison.
Combination by Holyfield. Holyfield looking to air it out.
Holyfield's on road, he's taking a shot. He's going for it.
Oh, Tyson's in trouble.
And Holyfield was able to bully him around the ring.
No matter what happens from here on in, we are looking at a sports legend in the purple trunks, Evander Holyfield. Holyfield continues to make it. A left hook to the head. He's got Tyson in trouble. Tyson's ready to go.
Holyfield had done it.
Evander, the real deal.
He joined Muhammad Ali to be one of only 2 men to have ever captured the heavyweight belt 3 times.
And he did it like this. And he did it like this. And he did it like this.
A quick rematch was scheduled in Vegas. No lead-up required. It was the highly discussed, ear-biting incident.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hold on 2 secs. Let's go.
So Tyson got really dazed and confused, and finally, he just snapped and bit his ear off.
What happened here?
He got bit, I think. I kept on saying, I want to get him back. I want to get him back.
Evander Holyfield, look out! He's pushed right here above us by Tyson.
He got bit in the ear.
Oh my goodness, he's got a bloody right ear. Holyfield bit by a dirty Mike Tyson.
So we go back in, then all of a sudden, you bit this ear.
Mike Tyson has bit Evander Holyfield for the second time, and it is all out war.
That's how you
Mike
know.
Tyson will fight again, and you'll pay to see him. But this time, you're going to pay twice as much.
His tasteless performance against Evander Holyfield spawned headlines like Reality Bites, Paper Chew, and Irresponsible.
To say when the budding occurred, and I thought I might lose because of a severely of a cut above my eye, I just snapped.
I've got an epic Mike Tyson doc on this channel, so please help out, sub, click the bell, and watch stuff.
Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition.
The winner would become the undisputed heavyweight champion, claiming the WBA, WBC, and IBF straps.
Only 3 men left in the ring, and we're underway. Holyfield seeming to slip as Lewis landed the first punch of the bout.
Controlling the action with his jab, Lennox kept Holyfield from getting in distance.
Look at how unstoppable Lewis is when he fires the jab with frequency.
Round after round, Lewis was the aggressor. Connecting more.
And you heard Emmanuel Stewart say, come up with the uppercut. Lewis lands a right hand.
And causing the most damage. It was meant to be a coronation for Lennox, a real statement victory over another legendary name.
Since Bob Fitzsimmons in 1897, as a citizen of Great Britain held an undisputed heavyweight title. We may be minutes away from that watershed right now.
Of course, you see where I'm going with this.
115 to 100.
To be fair, that was the next development, really, of modern boxing, was the jab. Like, Lennox Lewis really weaponized the jab. And you see it now so much. But yeah, it has really controlled, because you can control, like he did here. Just you can keep someone back every time they come near you. You've got a fist in your face. Even if it ain't doing nothing, it's still just an ag.
13 in favor of Evander Holyfield.
travesty. That is, ladies and gentlemen, a travesty, an outrage, a highway robbery. Lennox Lewis has just been robbed of the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. He won it, and he didn't get it.
Let's think of this exercise as an autopsy, looking for clues to the crime, not the fight of the century. Did they examine the British judge who scored it a draw for traces of Don King's DNA?
You threw 348 punches. Holyfield threw 130.
Should the American judge who gave it to Holyfield be arrested or merely barred from ever setting foot in a boxing arena again?
Days have passed since Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield met in Madison Square Garden. And still, the firestorm of media criticism continues for the official decision which denied Lewis his apparent victory and left the heavyweight championship fragmented between the two fighters.
A rematch was demanded and set.
That's not Evander Holyfield's fault.
Once again, the title of undisputed heavyweight champion was on the line.
All right, fans, here we go with the rematch we've all been waiting for. Live from Las Vegas, it's time for the main event of the evening.
We should have drama tonight.
Holyfield is a legend and a warrior, but on this night, he was simply no match for Lennox Lewis.
Lewis able to stick the jab in Holyfield's face repeatedly.
He's jumping in because of the distance. He can't get it.
Lennox jabbed him into oblivion.
Holyfield to watch his head as Lewis goes under and then over with the right hand. Now Lennox fires the uppercut and throws Holyfield off.
When Holyfield tried to come in, Lennox blasted him with the uppercut.
And lands the uppercut again. He's just waiting on that uppercut now. Multiple punches for Lewis. Holyfield not throwing back in 5 more seconds of fighting. And the fans appreciate it.
And the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.
Because you had to be able to take something to give something.
Right. Well, you always could take it.
Yeah.
That was a big part of your career when you had an Iron Champ.
In his prime, Holyfield was a warrior unrivaled, a brutal brawler with technical ability, limitless willpower, and an eagerness to take on any and every challenger. Called the greatest cruiserweight ever. Evander, the real deal, Holyfield.
Evander, the real deal, Holyfield.
Nobody brings it home like Joe Vincent. Nobody. Make it so.
Yeah, that was great, really. Because like I say, it showed you basically the progression into what boxing is now. You just don't really get crazy exciting fights like you did back then because of the jab. Like they said, Evander Holyfield wasn't the most defensive fighter. He was going to come out and brawl and just be better at it than you. But then once you get like, yeah, the Lennox Lewis, you just keep someone back with a jab, just constant jab, jab. And if you watch boxing now, the majority of it is jabbing. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. You see how Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson, and I'd say Riddick Bowe as well, watching him in there, he looked like he was at least kind of up there with them. Do you know what I mean? Like, without a doubt. But yeah, then boxing kind of developed again. And you see how at one point Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson, they are the like phenoms, but then yeah, and then you get someone now like a Mayweather. I mean, Mayweather can land 3 punches around and win every round, and you're not gonna hit him. Do you know what I mean? His whole thing is defensive. But yeah, also it's kind of wrong to call him because he did start out as light heavyweight, but then I suppose he kind of cleaned up at cruiserweight. But for a cruiserweight to jump to heavyweight, and to be honest, the first few fights where he's not knocking people out, you're still kind of adjusting to that weight. Like, do you know what I mean? Normally you'd go cruiserweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight. But to go light heavyweight, cruiser, but even that, like, is an advanced thing. No, like, people weren't doing like the kind of discipline to go down like that takes a lot. Do you know what I mean? To go down, and he's obviously a naturally bigger person too. It's a shame him and Tyson never got to fight again. Really. But yeah, I do think Lennox Lewis, that jab was just like revolutionized boxing again. But no, this was a great documentary. Like I say, it's good to do things like this because we just don't do. And I love boxing. I love, well, more UFC now, to be fair. But only because in the UFC, you like, it's all under one company, so you have to fight. There ain't no waiting 5, 10 years for a fight like Mayweather Pacquiao. Do you know what I mean? There ain't none of that. If you're champion, you fight. I think you get one in the UFC. I'm pretty sure you get one refusal, and then that's it. If you refuse 2 fights in a row, they just kick you out the company. But yeah, no, this was great. Evander Holyfield is a beast, and probably, yeah, he probably is the best boxer of that era. Really, if Mike Tyson would have kind of stuck, if Costamato didn't die really, then Mike Tyson probably would have been. But you can't knock Evander Holyfield for that. You can't knock Evander Holyfield for getting robbed. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's funny how the fighter always gets blamed for a robbery and they're not in charge. Do you know what I mean? Be mad at the judges, but people do hold it against the fighter, like they were saying unholy, like an attack on him, but he didn't do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, yeah. But Evander Holyfield, it was the man of that era. Mind you, know, Riddick Bowe is a bad man. I don't really know much about Riddick Bowe either. Like, that was surprising. When I saw him fighting, I was thinking, Jesus, like, he was fire as well. Do you know what I mean? Well, you saw he beat Evander Holyfield. But yeah, yeah, this was great. But yeah, that's the reaction.